Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to pre-market update. Futures are now hanging towards this neutral zone, this middle white zone. You can see here, this is Nasdaq, S&P 500. This is Dow Jones, a little stronger, and then Russell also a little stronger here. Bitcoin futures are jumping back and forth, came near buy zone. You can see it was a very good trade on Bitcoin last couple of days. You can see very nicely this indicator is helping keeping us on the right track. You can see here from here on this day, which is 26th of April, Saturday, sell zone to the buy zone, 2.6% dump, and then from buy zone to the sell zone, you can see here the percentage wise 3% pump here, then it dumped again from sell zone to the buy zone. You can see again 2 and 2%, and then again pump from buy zone to the sell zone of around 2%. So that's where we are. So very nicely, again, if we fall below 94,000, look to buy Bitcoin. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And Ethereum, the zone is 1750, 1775 and below. All right. Okay, let's look at some other charts. Guys, please hit the like button. It only takes 1 second to hit the thumbs up button. I really appreciate that. Okay, MES in front of what I would say like point of control chart is saying you can see these white lines here, multiple point of control POC charts. So this is the area of concern. Okay, sure we can go to 5800, 5700, 50. This is, but you can look at the left side. Lot of sellers might be waiting here to short this. Okay, and on the, from where we are right now, to the downside, there's also a big gap here, which is really bothering me. Um, Market could come back in May time frame to fill this gap. Okay, keep that in mind as we are going higher. So be open-minded and just know that there are gaps to be filled. You can see this is daily chart of SPX. This is the gap I'm talking about, 50 to 92. So from where we are yesterday, where we closed flat, you can see around 4% downside move is still possible. All right. So just keep that in mind. The cycle chart is saying something like this is possible. It doesn't have to happen. This is just an estimate saying we could get a pump, fill this gap after earnings, and then we could come back down, fill this bottom gap, and then go higher. All right. So this is a pretty possible scenario. Just be open-minded. This can happen. All right. Don't think market just need to go straight up. I know eventually all these yellow lines will be filled, but we don't know which way. It can go straight up or it can go higher, fill this gap, and then come back down and go higher. So keep that in mind. On Nasdaq, we filled some gaps. Now we are in front of some resistance here, but let's see if we can close above that. Next gap is around 19803. Triple Q, that gap is around 481. And then if that's filled, the next gap is around 500. So keep that in mind. Inversely, the bottom gap is around 445. So they could bring it back to fill this and then go higher. Dow Jones, similar story, same story, up gap and bottom gap. And then Russell IWM, similar story, top gap 201, bottom gap around 81, 88. So be open-minded. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And there will be a lot of opportunities. Bitcoin. All right, just flagging above all moving averages here. All right, we'll see. We can see a lot of resistance on the left side. That's where we're approaching. So I won't be surprised again if we see like a pullback and then go higher, like BTC futures can show you. There's a gap also here, multiple conferences. So at minimum, we will fill this gap at some point and then go higher. So from where we are to the top to the bottom, and a pullback of around 3.89, let's say 4%. Don't get surprised with that. All right, just be ready with some cash on the sideline in case this happens. All right, so these are the charts, and this is the other chart which I keep an eye on. We are in still green zone, but and again, if we are in bull market, we will probably hit the 64.28, and this is a good area to buy. But any dump, look to have cash on the side. You can see what happened here. We came to green zone, had a bounce, went below green zone, had a bounce, and then came back again. So we had a very powerful rally here. Okay, very powerful rally of around 19%, and then came back again. So what I'm trying to tell you is anything is possible. Just be open-minded. And this rally from bottom to top is 16% already. Sure, we could go 19, 20%. 19% will take it to like 5,700 area. Okay, 19 is around 5,700. So that is still possible. We can go a little more higher, but don't be surprised if we get a pullback. So play, have it, have all scenarios in front of you and make a decision accordingly. All right, so UNH, let's look at some stocks. You're getting an 8 counts buy signal. Today will be 9 counts buy signal, and then you can see last time we got it, we had a massive rally after 8 counts. You can see 8 counts here to the top, 31% rally here. Here after 8 we had the down day on the 9 counts, and then after 9 counts the rally was almost 18, 16%. Here we had a rally. So UNH is very close to uh, bottoming, I think. Maybe if we get a sell-off, UNH will kind of try to hold the market. So that's also possible. This rally here was also 21%. So what I'm trying to tell you is, guys, it is possible that it's bottoming, and just be prepared, okay? Just be prepared um, for a nice bounce here on UNH. Let's see. Um, okay, Tesla held very nicely above this red and yellow lines, 50 moving average and EMA in front of some resistance here, 200 moving averages. That's what is expected to kind of hold a bit. Apple, I think it's going to do next major move after earnings Thursday evening. So again, this big gap could be filled at that time. Netflix already at new all-time high. Google after strong earnings gave a lot back, down 0.87% yesterday. Probably going for this gap fill around 154 at some point. Meta is holding nicely again, waiting for earnings for next major move. Amazon, same story, gap bottom, gap at the top. Microsoft earnings, I think tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, and nice recovery after touching, you can see daily chart, came back to testing the support and now bouncing from there. So nice recovery there. Crowd side again, new all-time high. Service now consolidating after massive earnings move. Probably, let's see, bottom gap and top gap, both gaps are there. AVGO also nicely green yesterday, and NVDA is little weaker because of next peak earnings. There's a gap here around 98.78. Okay, so keep that in mind in case they decide to dump NVIDIA. 8.69%, that's where you should be looking to buy. All right, so be open-minded. Toronto Stock Exchange looking nicely above all moving average, developing a bull trend. Hang Seng Index in the middle, gaps at the top, gaps at the bottom. We'll see which way it goes. Bond market in front of some resistance here. Let's see if it's gonna cool down a bit. TLT, some gaps to fill. Commodities, US oil is a bit weaker. Not sure what's the news, but in front of some resistance. It's not going to break that resistance easily because this was acting as a support since 2021. So 4 years of support, not going to break up very easily. Okay, so first test here, going down, probably come back for a back test at some point in future. Natural gas, massive rally after hitting 200 moving average, not touching this gap fill. 2.78 for now, this gap. So let's see if it is a fake out move and then come back lower, or this is it, we're going higher. Gold cooling down a bit, again blow off top. Multiple times I've said top, lower high, probably gonna go lower, we'll see. Silver doing something other than what gold is doing, interesting, going 2% higher. Copper also same thing. Sugar, nice area here to buy for the long run, so nice area to hold. Wheat also below trend line, but it could recover very soon. Corn holding nicely here. Dollar index again in front of massive resistance, and unless Trump does something, say something, it's gonna probably be weak. Gold miners were green yesterday. Let's see today a little weaker. Probably looking for this gap around 47. Other than that, tech stocks, AMD looking nice. Again, same story, gap bottom, gap at the top. We don't know which way it's going to go. Shopify looking pretty strong in front of all moving averages. And again, Earnings will decide if it's going to fill this bottom gap or not. Palantir looking nice, all-time high, very nice bounce. Celestial week after earnings. I can just go on. Just if you have a particular stock you want me to review, put a comment and I will take a look next time. National banks are looking pretty good here as well, slowly and surely going higher. Enbridge, oh wow, new all-time high, interesting. CNQ also holding very nicely. Yesterday oil was down almost 2%, and then all these oil stocks were high. I don't know why, but again, this is what it is. CP Rail is also holding nicely. CNI, X, and CSU making a new high. Interesting. This is IBIT, Bitcoin ETF, looking to buy Bitcoin at some point. We'll see when the right time comes. VIX again crushing. It could fill this gap. Okay, today could be an update or next or this week because of earnings, and then this gap can be filled, and then next week could be very dangerous where after earnings all stocks go down and these top gaps will get filled. Okay guys, that's it for today. If there are any particular stocks you want me to review, put a comment and hit the like button on your way out. And if you want to join my Discord channel where I share these levels and stocks I buy, please, there's a description link in the description and join it. And I'll really appreciate that. Thank you guys.